Hey, welcome back to a special edition of the Give Me Liberty podcast right here at CPAC 2023. And as we have been having great conversations here near the Capitol, we have friends both new and old. We got some new friends today. It's Daisy and Mock, co-hosts of Chicks on the Right podcast. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, it's great to see you both. And there's a lot of things going on in this country. And in 2023, I think... I'm actually praying for an uneventful year. Like every time I hear about news, I'm like, oh no, what's happening now, right? Rising threats of China, right? America forfeiting its sovereignty. We're abusing children in the classroom. Parental rights is at an all-time low. We're now persecuting Christians and pastors, people of faith all across the country. You're seeing everything. I mean, it's like, okay, pick your poison. Like, what do you want to talk about, right? I think it's important that we have an informed citizenry, people who are involved in the political process. It takes people like you to raise your voice and to get information out there. It's not going to be any one news outlet. We're not going to put all of our, stock in Tucker Carlson. Love Tucker Carlson, but it's not enough, right? And we have to communicate downstream into culture. I love what Andrew Breitbart said. Politics is downstream from culture, and he's right. Now, I'd also say there's a reflexive element there. Culture is also downstream from politics. It can be, because it can kind of feed into the other. You can oftentimes socially engineer outcomes through legislation, through picking certain presidents, let's say, right? And we seem to be moving in the progressive direction at breakneck speed. And I think this all started in 2006, I'll be honest with you. And it really started to pick up in 2008, 2010, right? So 2006, if you'll remember, that's when Nancy Pelosi gavelled in as Speaker of the House. And it was the lame duck part of the Bush presidency. And all things turned to domestic policy. And that's when we basically put the final nail in the coffin with medical freedom by basically voting in Obamacare, right? There are lots of things there. We don't have to go there, but what are you seeing that is most needed right now in this country?
We started our site in 2009 when we started seeing the crazy Obama mania stuff happening. And so that speaks to us so loudly, because we've been doing this for 14 years. And so we see, when you say, like, what do you see happening? I mean, we see a general decline, and we see a culture rot, really, is what we've seen over the past 14 years. And so we do try to keep people informed, but we try to do it in a way where it's conversational and somewhat comedic, lighthearted, because a lot of things are awful right now.
Everything is on fire.
Everything is awful, right? I mean, there's some good stuff. Like when you see Asbury College.
Yeah.
And you see,
Pray for revival, by the way.
Right? Yeah, there's some good stuff. But I mean, a lot of stuff is pretty awful. So we try to deliver it in a way that is, a little bit lighthearted, a little bit just happier.
Well, and you'll notice that some of the shows that are the most popular, Greg Gutfeld, chief among them, I think that is the secret, secret sauce, right? Is to keep everything, because I think conservatives in general are far happier than liberals and progressives. And so when we can show that, and we do in our daily live stream, because honestly, it's just us best friends having a conversation, and people are welcome to listen in. And that's, I think, the reason for our success, is because we try to keep it light and happy and have some optimism. And I think that's why shows like Greg's, like Tucker's, they do well, because even when they're talking about horrible, horrible things, which we're surrounded by right now, they do it in a way that at least makes you smile, right? That it keeps it light.
There's some positivity that comes out of it.
You know, there's an old saying by Mark Twain, against the salt of laughter, nothing can stand, right? And I think oftentimes, this is why I love Greg Gutfeld. I really appreciate Seth Dillon, Babylon Bee.
Yes.
Right? The left can't meme. That's something that Benny Johnson says often, because they have no sense of humor, right? And at the end of the day, I think conservatives are more attractive and smarter and lead healthy and well-balanced lives, because they have children and other things they have to sacrifice for and give to. And many of them fear God. I think that's the most critical component for self-government, is a well-ordered household that is oriented vertically towards God and not government, right?
We have more hope.
Yeah.
We have more hope because of that, right? You have faith, you have more hope, and then you do have more laughter about life. You don't see things in such a doom and gloom kind of way.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally. So, okay. So y'all are doing. You've been doing this for some time.
14 years.
Long time.
What has been? I would say a couple of things. There's a lot of doom and gloom. What have been the biggest surprises over the last couple of years? And then I want to go towards what gives you hope. Okay, so let's.
You do the hope part.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
But I will say that the thing that's made me most surprised is the speed with which we have fallen as a culture into this wokeism bullcrap. Can I say that?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, it's permitted.
So
Yeah.
that, to me, that's
Paul
been...
used it in the Bible, just so you know.
Okay, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
But that's been alarming. It's not even a surprise. It's like I'm truly alarmed by how just how much we've devolved culturally and how much progressives have broken the culture and made it
so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's the speed.
So quickly.
That's been the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I think that what gives me hope, I think you too. Like I did a talk a couple weeks ago at Baylor University.
Yeah.
With a bunch of women there, with a group called New Network of Enlightened Women, and there were lots of women there, lots of young women. I say women. I mean, these are college kids, you know.
Sure.
So
well, they're women.
I know they are, but
yeah.
but we're older, right? So I just sometimes we lose a little. We were like, oh my gosh, are there any?
They look like kids.
They look
They
like
do.
kids. They
Yeah.
are kids to us, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what gives me hope when I see young people who are conservative and they're on campuses. Because a lot of times, you know, over the years we've gotten emails where people are like, I'm afraid to be conservative on campus. I'm afraid because it's not popular these
Right.
days to be the conservative. So when I see young conservatives, when we see them and they're like, I'm loud and proud to be conservative. I'm proud to be this way. I'm proud to be conservative. That's what gives me hope, is that there's more and more of them. And like the Gen Zers, is that the Gen Alphas, I guess is what we call them, the newest generation, seeing more and more of those people embrace God, embrace those ideals, embrace conservatism. That's what gives me hope, because I feel like the pendulum's swinging. I feel like it's swung so far to the left that we're going to start seeing like a huge swing in our direction.
You know, I think about the greatest generation often. You know, one of the greatest privileges I ever had was to preach the funeral of my grandfather, who fought in World War II. He was in the bombers going over Germany, you know, and he was a part of that generation that grew up in the Great Depression, right? So his childhood was not surrounded by all the comforts and the niceties of life. I mean, they were scraping, right, and scrimping, and they were trying to put things together. They had nothing, and by the way, this is the Dust Bowl of Oklahoma and Texas, and had it not been for the oil companies, a lot of these farms would have been dead and toast and all of that. But they made it through it, and in that hardship, it created a generation of people that were absolutely fearless. We are facing hardships, but not in the way that people would often assume or think. We're the most lavish culture, richest by far in terms of niceties and all of this, but it's obvious that our freedoms are being marginalized. Our freedoms are being taken away. And I do think that it is creating a young generation of discontent conservatives who are saying, that is enough.
Yeah.
We've had enough. We're going to stand up. We're going to speak up. And this is the line and no further. And I do believe that the youngest generation, who are outnumbered, I believe they're outnumbered, but they have something that is worth fighting for and something that is worth dying for. And I believe the left is full of cowards. I don't think they're willing to die.
Yeah. No,
I totally agree
I
with
agree
that.
with you completely on that too. Yeah. And they've been raised, hopefully, by strong conservatives, and that, you know, they're willing to stand up for what's right.
Yeah.
Those kids are.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell us real quick, a little bit more about your show, just to plug where we can find you and all of that.
Yeah, so we do a daily live stream that's streamed across multiple platforms: Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, Getter, Facebook, on several pages. So everybody can tune into that daily, or weekdays, 7:15 to 8:15 Eastern time. And then they can find it after the fact. They can find all of our socials as well at chicksontheright.com/links.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. Well, Daisy and Mock, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Really appreciate it.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it too. Thank you.